everyone, welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to crochet this beautiful and very stretchable beanie, and this one can be worn by men or women. So this is made from chunky yarn, and I use a 6mm crochet hook for this one. Measurement for the length, it is around 8.5 inches, and this is requested by the one who will wear this. And for the width, it's also around 8.5, less than 8.5 inches. So you can extend the length depending on you. So let's start. First, we're going to make a magic ring. We are starting to work from the top of the hat or the beanie. So if you don't want to use magic ring, you can use the chain method where you chain 4. So it depends on you. So sorry, there's a little boy playing beside me. So we chain 3 for this one, and then we make 7 double crochets into the ring. So the first 3 chains, we count that as our first double crochet. So for this round, we will be making 8 double crochets total, including our chain 3. So if you're using a smaller, thinner yarn for this one, and with a smaller crochet hook, then you will start with more double crochets. Let's say start with 12 double crochet if you use 5mm crochet hook. But with me, since I'm using a chunky yarn, so this is just 8 double crochets. So let's count. Okay, so I have 8 double crochets, and this tail we pull this one and make it tight to close the ring, and slip stitch onto the 3rd chain and pull it tight properly. And then for round 2, we're going to start again with the chain 3, which we will also consider as our first double crochet. And on this first vertical post, we will do a front post double crochet, and on that space, double crochet space, we make 1 normal double crochet. So for the round 2, we are just going to alternate front post double crochet and double crochet. So you make a front post double crochet on every vertical post, and on top of each stitch you make a double crochet. So at this round, we are already increasing. So double crochet and front post double crochet on the vertical post, again double crochet on the top of the stitch, and then front post double crochet on the vertical post. So I'll keep doing this one. So at the end of this round, we will have 16 stitches. So for our last stitch, that will be a front post double crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch on the 3rd chain on that first double crochet, which is our chain 3. So we make a slip stitch, and then let's count again. Let's make sure. So I'll be counting here, and make sure you have a 16 stitches. So we have 16 double crochets for round 2. Then let's proceed to round 3. So we start again with chain 3, which we will also consider as our first double crochet. And that is our first stitch for this round. And then we were going to make a double crochet on top of the next stitch. And then in every front post double crochet we did before, we will do a front post double crochet as well. And on top of each stitches there, we will do a double crochet. So again, on this stitch, double crochet. So just remember, on this round we will make a front post double crochet on every vertical post of front post double of our previous front post double crochet. So this space is double crochet, then on this space is double crochet as well. So just do the front post double crochet on our previous front post double crochet. So I will continue making this one, and I will see you at the end. So I am at the end of round 3 and also end with the front post double crochet. So we're going to slip stitch, and for this round we have 24 stitches, and we're going to start with chain 3 for our round 4. So for round 4 we will start with the front post double crochet. And then this next stitch we make a double crochet on top of that stitch, and then on this vertical post we make a front post double crochet. So on this round we will make a double crochet on top of each stitch, and we will make front post double crochet on each vertical post. So don't be confused with this round. So just remember that on round 4 we'll make a front post on every vertical post, and on top of each post is a normal double crochet. So vertical post, front post double crochet. On top of each post to make a double crochet, vertical post again, we make a front post double crochet, and on top of the post we make a normal double crochet. Then vertical post, front post double crochet, and on top of the post is a normal double crochet, and vertical post, front post double crochet, and on top of the post is normal double crochet. So vertical post, front post double crochet, on each stitch on top is double crochet, vertical post, front post, on top of each stitch double crochet. So just remember, we will just alternate front post double crochet and double crochet all throughout the round. So for round 4 we have 48 stitches, and I also end this round with a front post double crochet, and we're going to slip stitch on the 3rd chain on our first double crochet, which was our previous chain 3. And for round 5 we'll also start with chain 3, which we will also consider as part of our stitches, our first stitch. And this time on this vertical post along the first 3 chains, or along the chain 3, we'll make a back post double crochet. So I insert around the vertical post So insert going to the back, and then we grab the yarn and we make a double crochet. And then the next vertical pose, we will make a front pose double crochet. So let me check this one. I thought this is a dirt. No, it's not dirt, it's just the color in the yarn. So I will not cut this one as, anyway, I will not really make this as a hat. I'm showing you how to do this one. So next is a back pose double crochet, and next vertical pose is a front pose double crochet. So usually we will do a front pose double crochet on the previous front pose as well, so that will make things easier to remember. So on every front pose, previous front pose, we make a front pose, and our previous stitches of normal double crochet before, now we make a back pose double crochet. So all throughout this round, we're just going to alternate back pose and front pose double crochet. So that's it, just 2 stitches all throughout this round. So front pose here, and the back pose on the next vertical pose. So front pose again on the front post. Oh, sorry, I forgot to make that a mistake. Okay, so front post. So we're just going to continue alternating back pose, front pose, back pose, and front pose double crochets all throughout the round, and we will be making 48 stitches as well. So I'm at the end of round 5, so I have 48 stitches. So for round 6, you start again with same thing, we slip stitch, and then we start with chain 3, which we considered as our first double crochet. And for round 6 and beyond, we were just going to repeat the pattern of round 5. So alternate back pose double crochet and front pose double crochet. So front pose in every front pose and back pose in every back pose, and until you reach the desired length of your heart. So usually it will form like a platter. Don't worry about that, it will look like a doily with a few rounds, but eventually it will form into a hat like this one. So just don't get discouraged if it looks like a doily at first. So eventually it will be a hat. So if you plan to change the color, like this one, I changed from gray to green, you can also change at any stage or at any round. You can change the color. You just use the same pattern of round 5, which is back pose and front pose, alternation of back pose and front pose double crochet. So to change color, this is how I do it. So before I slip stitch for the next round, I will start changing the color and grab the new color, and then I slip stitch, and then I grab that color and slip stitch with the new color, and then I will chain 3 with the new color, and then I will continue with the same pattern of back pose double crochet. So remember that vertical pose along this first chain 3, we will start our back pose double crochet, and then next is a front pose double crochet, and then and so on, and back pose double crochet. So just remember, just repeat the pattern of round 5 until you reach the desired length of your hat. So, and just continue making, and I will meet you at the end where we will put the single crochets for finishing. So we are now at the last round. So this is already 8.5 inches, And at this point, I will just going to make a single crochets all throughout the round. So I slip stitch, and then I'm just going to chain one, and then I'll make single crochet on each stitch. So single crochet, single crochet. So I will be making 48 single crochet all throughout the round, and then I will meet you after I finish this last round. So I finished making 48 single crochets, and then I slip stitch, and then this time I'm going to secure. I'm going to cut the yarn, and I'm going to secure it using a darning needles. So we're going to hide the tails, and if you change the colors, then you might have some tails as well inside that you have to hide as well. So just sew it in our hat to hide it, and the rule of 3 to make it secure. So sew it 3 times at least to make sure it's secured properly. So however you secure it, as long as it's hidden properly and secured. So we cut that end, and we are now finished with the hat. So we have now this beautiful and stretchable and comfortable hat, which my husband really loves this hat. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have some questions, please leave the comment below, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you and bye.